Hey, welcome. This is Brett with Terrapin Exotics. Welcome to the Turtle Trap House. Come with me, I'll show you around. So some of the thinking that went into how this place came about. About a year ago, things changed quite a bit in my world, and I was kind of at a crossroads. I didn't know what direction to go. With the bad taste I kind of had in my mouth, I was ready to sell everything and just be done. I entertained that for a week or two, and I actually did sell some adults. I kind of wish I would have kept, but in the end, what I came back to was, even though things had changed and they weren't at all what I thought it was going to be like, I love these turtles. I've grown to love them over the past 4 years. I really, really enjoy what I do, and I'm honestly just crazy enough to make it happen. So it was a go big or go home type situation, and this opportunity kind of presented itself, as well as the opportunity to get some different animals that I didn't have yet, and we pulled the trigger. Started moving in here October, I think, last year, 2021. Started, painting a wall and building some platforms and doing some things. I had some help from my son and my brother, and you name, my wife was down here helping sometimes. Like, it was just kind of we didn't know what it was really going to look like in the end yet, but I had a vision, I had a plan that I had worked on about 100 times and changed it, and it looks not anything like the plan, by the way. It's changed quite a bit. But I knew that with what I was wanting to do and what I want to do with terrapins long term is I want to selectively breed. I want to be able to show, hey, these are not only the parents of this terrapin, but these are the grandparents, and I can track the genetic morphs, from here to here, and say this is why this happened. Let's go check out some turtles. This is Louise. She's pretty sweet, almost like a little puppy dog. And her boyfriend. He doesn't have a name. This little guy, his girlfriend's sleeping. Oh, looks like this guy wanted to be out and say hey. So he actually just woke up from brumating. You can see he's kind of sleepy. He's been under the sand for probably a month and a half, and he's just getting going. A little slow. I'm the same way in the mornings. This is Blondie. Come here, Blondie. She's always ready to eat, always asking for food. She's actually one of my favorite big females. She is beautiful. She'll bite your finger off in a second, but she is beautiful and one of my favorites. A couple girls here. They're actually not mine. They're a friend of mine's. Just hanging on to them for a little bit with the breeding project we have going. They're not always the smartest. She thinks she can get to me by coming through here, but she can't. There we go. Let me show you this girl. Come here. Okay. So she's absolutely beautiful. She's probably she's not mine, but she's one of my favorite terrapins I've ever had the pleasure of hanging on to and looking after. Markings are incredible. The wires, that'll all be taken care of soon. Like I said, I'm not 100% done. I'm getting there. I'm one person I have a full-time day job, and this is my essentially second full-time job. So this will look prettier, I promise, in like 2 weeks. But so all of these tubs have a 4-inch trunk that runs underneath them. They drain, just gravity drains into that 4-inch trunk. The water comes in here, it splits. Half the water goes through the seat of sieve. This is an Evolution Aqua product. I've loved Evolution Aqua stuff for like 3 years, maybe a little more. They just have really neat filtration products, mainly for koi ponds. I found them online, kind of followed their stuff, and then had an opportunity to get a few of their products over the past year, and so I did that. So this guy essentially just takes all the solids out of the water. So if a turtle, if they shed a scoop, or if they don't eat all of a pellet or a piece of smelt, and it makes its way through the drain, this actually filters that out. It's like a big, strainer. So that's a stainless steel grate. The water goes through, then you can see the solids that collect there. So all the solids will eventually work their way down in that hole, and then I just have a ball valve underneath, actually where you're standing right now. I just pull that guy up, turn the valve, everything goes down the drain.
Okay, funny story. So yesterday when my son and I were filming, we filmed a lot, all kinds of stuff about the filters and the turtles, the tubs, you name it, and come to find out, I think about half the time it actually was not recording. So, this is the story of my life. I think where we left off over here, where it stopped recording, was we looked at the sieve filter, and then we looked at all the unsightly wires and power strips, stuff like that I'm fixing here soon. And then I never got to talk about, or on camera at least, never got to talk about the fluidized bed filter here, the protein skimmer, the Nexus 220, and the pressure filter. So this is all part of this filtration system that feeds these brackish tubs. So that water splits, half of it goes into the seat of sieve, the other half actually goes into the fluidized bed filter. There's air stones in there that agitate the floating K1 or K plus media, excuse me. This is actually where I house my water heaters, so they're not in tubs except for the one tub I'm keeping warmer for other reasons. So there's heaters in there, and then that's also where the protein skimmer pulls from. So I'll turn this around. So this guy here, in my opinion, I've never used one before this building, but that protein skimmer is my favorite thing here, other than turtles. If I were to remove one single element from my filtration, I would notice that the most, because it's the only filter here. I mean, I guess aside from the sieve, but the sieve isn't nearly as effective at pulling out the raw proteins before they start to break down in the water. So what that does is it replicates sea foam. There's 2 pumps on it. Talk about the pumps here in a minute, but essentially it pulls water out of that tub, pumps it into the protein skimmer. The other pump forces air in with water, generating tiny bubbles. It bubbles up at the top. Those bubbles act like little magnets for debris, dirt, food, you name it. Anything in the water that would normally contaminate and have to break down in biological filtration, that gets rid of it first before it ever has to hit the other filters. So that bubbles over in the top cup, and then that actually feeds down into the drain line, which is right here, if you can see it, going next to the dehumidifier, and then that goes out the drain right there. So I'm a big fan. So if you have terrapins and you do keep them in brackish water, that is one of the kind of special things about a protein skimmer. It's not going to work well, at least in freshwater setups. That salinity actually is what makes that thing work. So I definitely recommend them. Doesn't have to be one that big, obviously. That one's meant to handle a lot of water. But so after the water exits here, there's actually a pump on the other side of the seat of sieve, and then there is a trunk line underneath here, and those reconnect. So when they split, the water goes through one or the other, and then the water reconnects underneath this platform here, and the pump pulls it out of the seat of sieve and forces it into this guy here. This is the Nexus 220, right? So the water comes up and it goes into here, and I will show you what that looks like. So my water comes up through here, it flows here and around on the outside of the stainless steel grate here, and then the water goes in through these slots down that hole. After that, it actually goes to the outer chamber where the fluidized media, it is agitating with the air. So that's essentially doing the same thing as my big tub over there. But between this and this, that's removing all kinds of debris, particles from the water. Also, lots of good beneficial bacteria builds in here to help clean that water as well. So, you can't see it very well, but in this stainless steel piece here, there's holes just like in that centerpiece, and the water goes through there once it's clean, and then it goes to the next step. So that water, what we just looked at, comes out of here, goes down, and it splits, okay? So some of that water can go this way, which goes directly back to the tubs. The rest of the water hits this pump. Most of the water's coming through here. So this pump, it's a CJ, and I'll pause real quick and say that I've tried a lot of pumps in the past 4.5 years. These CJ pumps, I'll never use something different, I don't think. They're fantastic. They're all Wi-Fi controllable. They have a 5-year warranty. They'll tell you the temperature of the water through an app on your phone, so you can be anywhere in the world and you can check on your setups. It's really handy. Not to mention they just work really well. So that pump forces water into this here pressure filter. So that has K+ media static inside. It forces it in, and then it comes back out, and underneath this platform that actually joins back up. So this water goes up rather than on that lower level. Lower level I use occasionally more to clean the line out, but it goes up. There's another pump on the other end of it, but before that there's that 80-watt UV sterilizer. So that pump is a CJ9. That back there is a CJ9. The one on the sieve is 6. Sorry, that's 7. And then the one pulling or forcing water into the protein skimmers is 6. So I have the 1, 2, 3, 4 pumps in this room right here. Well, 5 if you include the bubbler. So you should see this. All these turtles are staring at me, wanting to be fed. This is hilarious. Yeah, let me see if I can get them. You hungry? It is feeding day, so I'm going to get them taken care of here shortly. Okay, so the other thing that wasn't covered, well, wasn't recorded yesterday when my son and I were doing this was these 2 tubs right here. So obviously they have tops on them, and kind of how I came to this idea, the reason I did this in the first place was this room is big, right? It's got 17, 18 foot ceiling, something like that, and that's cool. It looks neat. It's a big, tall room. but what that does is it can be a little drafty in here. Even when you're running the heater, I mean, it could be set on 70 degrees and the ambient temperature is 70, but then that heater's running so much, it's constantly blowing, you know, the heat through here. Honestly, it's just tough to manage with hatchlings since they are a little more susceptible to things like respiratory infections. So I wasn't super happy in the very beginning. I had them in a tub. It was this one here. Oh, look at that little albino. He was just chasing her. So they were in here. I had that water set at like 81 degrees. With the ambient temperature in here being 70, I just wasn't happy with it. I had a couple turtles that I felt like they looked like they may have been getting sick, and so I took them out. I put them in a different enclosure altogether while I built these. But then I was just thinking of a way to keep the heat and humidity in the tub for the hatchlings. And so I came up with an idea. I love the idea. I'm not giving up on that yet, but it's not, I don't have the manufacturing capabilities at the moment to do it. And so I was talking to my dad. He actually had this idea. What this is, these are 50-gallon tubs with the same footprint as the 100 gallons. So flip the 50-gallon tub over, cut the bottom off, and then I cut these pieces of polycarbonate right here to be doors. So you can see by the water dripping off, it does a great job of holding that humidity. And these guys are just some little hatchlings that are holdbacks, I believe. At least some of them are, maybe not all of them. But then I have another setup right here, and these guys are definitely holdbacks. These are some of the first groups that I hatched last year. There's 7 in here, and yeah, they seem to be doing very, very well in this. I've noticed additional growth lines coming out since they've moved in here. I've had 0 issues with any kind of you know, respiratory infection. I mean, they're happy. So that makes me happy. So these guys, I'm not sure if anybody ever has any interest in seeing how I built these, but I mean, I'd be happy to even just build another one and show everybody how it's done. There she comes. She's always hungry, like most of them. And in here, Ivory's in here, but she's hiding right now. Oh, I see her tail. She's way back in there. Let's give her a little food in case she's not feeling it. In here I have the trio. It's actually two girls and a male. I got all 3 of them from another breeder named Thomas, a good friend, and got them 2.5 years ago. And I mean, they are some incredible terrapins. They have amazing markings. I'm excited to see what they make when they have some babies. So this girl here, this is Lainey, and Lainey's a sweetheart. Her boyfriend isn't in here with her right now. He's out visiting somebody else. And then this is Louise and her boyfriend. And this is a mixture of Missouri aquatic turtle diet, omega-1 aquatic turtle, and then Missouri crocodilian larger pellets. Check her out. Not quite awake yet. So yesterday was nice. It was like almost 60 degrees here, but the day before that it was 8 degrees when I woke up. So these turtles are a little confused, They don't know what to do. Like, should I wake up? Should I stay asleep? There you go, dude. This is Penelope. In the light, she has almost like a purple hue to her skin. She's an ornate mangrove mix, got from a friend, and her boyfriend is in there as well. He's still a little groggy though, he just woke up. Here's Blondie. I think I showed her yesterday when I was filming. Blondie's sweet. Get your food, girl. The turtles with no names. I don't know if these girls have names. That's alright. Like I said before, these ones are not my terrapins. The two in here, they're sweet as can be, but they're here for a breeding project I had going with a friend, and I will give them back shortly. And here they are. Holy cow. Like I said yesterday, they were sleeping, but these guys and girls are always begging. So this is a pretty special group of ornates. So this group here produces some of the nicest ornates in the world, and they all actually carry the recessive albinism gene. So they will not only make some beautiful ornates, but they'll also produce more albinos. There's one more female in here too, and this is more terrapins than I typically like to have in a group, but I can't split these guys up just because of what we're trying to do with them. Aren't they pretty though? Look at her head. It's so muscular and just pink. And a spotless head. She has a few spots like on her limbs, but they are just some gorgeous animals. The only ones I have left to feed are the freshwater tubs, and I don't know if I was going to show you guys anything else today or not. I don't really remember, to be honest, but I'll get to that in a bit. I'll think through it. If I miss something, I'll get it next time. Like I said, it's like 7 in the morning right now, and I have an hour drive to work, so I'm here trying to wrap this up before I have to leave. And this is daily for me. For anybody who wonders, you know, hey, how do you do that with a full-time job? Yeah, well, it's a lot of time, and I'm here every morning and every evening, and sometimes in between. So, you don't do something like that unless you love it, right? It has nothing to do with my breeding operation directly, but this is, first of all, I built this shelf at my old cabinet shop I used to have. Found it in the basement of a house I used to live in, and said I'll put it on the wall. I have a couple more shelves I will fill up with other stuff, but this is the start of like my turtle wall. So this is actually my old green iguana from when I was a kid. That's Kirby. She's long gone now, but it's kind of, she's like the godfather or godmother. She's like the godmother of my whole reptile adventure, right? I had reptiles before her, but she was kind of the backbone. She's what got me hooked. I love that iguana. And then, yeah, some other stuff. My nephew Knox made that.
Got that little guy at a reptile show, and there's a bunch of beer that I've never drank. It's just beer for show. That's about all I got for right now. There will be more videos coming out. We're gonna, kind of focus more on the tubs. That's what most of the questions I've gotten have been about. How I made certain things, how, what materials went into it, how, whatever. We'll just go over all of it. It's not rocket science. It's really pretty easy. I think most people could handle making this exact thing. It's just knowing where to get the stuff, maybe some dimensions. And I'm happy to help with all that. If you have any questions about things you've seen or things you've heard, whatever, let me know. Just shoot me a message or leave a comment, and I'll do my best in future videos to go through what I can and show you what's what. Yeah, thanks a lot for stopping by, and I'll see you all soon.